Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka Batbomb82, and today I'll be doing my 191st Mezco Toyz 112 Collective action figure review, this time being of Slugfest. Now, taking a look at the front of the box, we can see that the figure is showcased in a very stylized box meant to look like an old garage sign with a lot of patina. So with the box out of the way, let's go ahead and crack this figure open and let him breathe. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at Slugfest here. Now it's kind of crazy because Slugfest is a character that we've actually known about for a good amount of years now, and we've all kind of just been wondering, like, when are they finally just going to release Slugfest as an actual figure? And here he finally is, and I think he's actually a really cool looking character. Now we'll have a few gripes here and there, but we'll get to that as we go. But overall, I think this guy just looks awesome. First of all, that helmet, that thing just looks really cool. I love almost like a construction-like helmet. It has like this saw blade thing going right at the top of it. I was kind of hoping that spun, you know what I mean? But it doesn't, but it just still looks really, really cool. But I love how dirty it is and all the scratches and dings like that. Even the back of the head, you can see all the little mechanics and little tubes and stuff like that. Even around his neck, you got that collar piece going around there. I also love how the head is like a headlamp for like your cars and that, but it's also kind of cracked. It might be a little hard to see. If I darken it up a bit, you can see those cracks right in there. But I still think that looks really, really cool, man. And then he's some type of like mechanic, machinist, blue collar type character, which I think is really cool. So I love his whole jumpsuit here with the torn sleeves. Got a little logo on the chest right there. And again, just how dirty and greasy his gear is. I think it looks fantastic. You got this Pete's logo on the back, which looks very old school. So I love that. I wonder if we'll ever get Pete as a character at some point. But I dig this, man. The body mold looks really good. You do have a working zipper, but you can see the color of his body is like this grayish blue color, and his like underbelly chest right here is that more like peach tone, which again looks really cool. Again, the zipper does work, so you can zip more up, zip it all down, however you like. Now this does utilize the Bluto body. If you have the Bluto from the Popeye and Bluto set, so it has that kind of like smaller legs, larger upper body, which some people have a problem with. I don't. I do kind of wish it had the more longer legs, you know, it's a little more proportionate, but that it doesn't bother me like I've seen some people. The boots again look really awesome, nice tread of the feet. And again, I'll bring in my Bluto here. I actually do have the Bluto, and it does utilize the exact same boots that we've seen with him. Again, it's the exact same lower body, maybe for most part the upper body, I can't really tell, but again, it doesn't bother me with the shorter legs. I still think this guy looks really cool. You got these really cool arms, or forearms and hands, you know, they're asymmetrical, so you got this more redder one on this side. Let me get my camera to focus so you guys can actually see this. You know, I think it looks really cool. You got these like piston-like things inside the forearms. Over here, you got the yellow and almost like a greenish turquoise type color. But again, the pistons in here, you can see there's like little metal wires inside both. These actually like function, so you can actually like move these up and down like that as actual like working pistons. I think that's pretty interesting, man. Very unique for a figure like this. So overall, yeah, man, I love the design. I love the look. I love the whole aesthetic of this figure. Now, moving on to accessories, we of course do get a bunch of interchangeable hands. You got gripping hands, you got close-fisted hands, loose fingers, stylized posing hands, everything you're going to pretty much need for this guy, which I all think work really, really good. I do specifically love the little rock-on hands with the fingers like that. I think that looks really cool too. But I also love the hand that we get this crazy arm attachment that has like this working like grinder, so these things actually like spin on there. And I love how they're all kind of like 3 different colors, but that is really cool. I love the way that's designed. Again, fits the theme of this guy overall. You just put someone's hand in there and that thing is just grounded to bits and turns into mush. Or you can pick up someone's weapon and just absorb it and just tear that thing to shreds. I think that's really, really fun. Now we also do get some type of like weapons accessories. We do get that crazy anvil on an actual metal chain. We get some moonshine apparently, because this dude is an alcoholic. And we got this crazy looking axe weapon, which I do love a lot. The detail on this thing is crazy good. Just see all the different mechanic pieces like this. He just fashioned this himself with different like machine parts and car parts and things like that. I love the little wrap around the handle. I think that is a lot of fun. Now the anvil here itself, I thought was going to be like a die-cast metal for some reason, because you do have a metal ring here and a metal chain, but it's just plastic, but it does look really, really cool. You could even use that as a display, and you can unhook it from here, the little ring, if you don't want the chain attached to it. But he uses this thing to whip around and hit people with. I think that's pretty gnarly, dude. I love that a lot. Again, you also do get the little moonshine jug here that is apparently 3 X's, because homeboy can take it to the head, man. The cork does come off if you want to take that off. I think that's really cool too. But probably the best accessory is going to be whatever the hell this thing is. It's a spider dog thing made out of machine parts too. I love this so much. Again, you also do get a chain leash on here too with an actual handle. And this can come off. The same thing in the back here. It doesn't have that same little latch like that we saw with the anvil. But this thing's awesome. It has like these spider legs. These can all move back and forth, so you can pose these around and make it look like he's walking around. The head does turn left and right. It's a bit of a ball peg, so you can roll it around a bit. As well as the jaw does open up like that. And that's pretty nuts, dude. That looks like almost like a panini maker, doesn't it? Doesn't that kind of look like a panini maker grill kind of thing? I don't know, but I love it. Are those his eyes? I don't really know if he even has eyes, but again, it's just a crazy looking thing, spider dog. Yeah, I don't know, man, but you know, it's really cool, really unique looking thing that they decided to give us, and I think he's awesome. Now, the last couple things that we do get, of course, are the circular base stand here with just Slugfest's head tampered on it like that, which looks pretty good, and of course the clear articulated arm. But moving on to probably one of the coolest things here, we do get a second head sculpt, which looks awesome. Almost looks like a bullet light for a type of vehicle, for a car or something like that, but it's all dented and dirty and just grimy, so I do love that a lot. I love the translucent lens right there. It's a little bit of crack, you can see that as well. But what's really awesome is with both of these heads, they do have an LED feature, and if you go under here, you can see where you put the little button cell batteries that this thing does come with. Hit the little on switch like that, and you can see how it lights up. Probably not so much with my heavy lights. Same thing with this one. I'm gonna go ahead and take this one off. This does have a little same exact LED feature. These look really cool like that. Now, if you turn off some lights, they glow pretty nicely. I do love how they look in the dark, and I just love the fact that both of his heads are giant lights. I think it's like spotlights. I don't know, man. I love it. I think it's really unique. It just really adds to this guy. You can pop this one on just like that, and you can see how he looks with that particular head sculpt. I do love how like this head kind of goes with like this arm that's like more red, you know what I mean? And then you got this head that's more yellow that goes with this arm. I think that's pretty cool. I think they both look really, really good. Okay, now we're gonna break down the articulation, and here's where he's gonna have some problems. So the head is on a ball peg. It does roll around a little bit. Again, the collar piece does come off, and if you do take that off, it's going to help a little more, honestly. But I noticed once you have the collar piece off, it does pop out of that ball socket a lot easier. So it just really depends on what you're trying to do. But I do like the collar piece on. So you can look up and down a tiny bit, wobble side to side, then left and right. And I think I just accidentally turned on the light like that, just doing that. All right, so that works pretty good. The arms can go full 360 like that. It can go up and out that far. No butterfly joints or anything like that. The elbows barely bend, you know what I mean? There is like a curvature inside both forearms. You can see the little curvature in that. So if you move it to that part of the forearm, you can get a slightly more bend, but that's really hindering. So I wish they could have done something like that. Maybe double jointed elbows would have helped out a lot more. So opposing his arms is going to be a little bit of a problem. You can also rotate at both forearms, and then of course rotation at the wrist, as well as hinge at the wrist. And his wrists are actually pretty tight. You can kind of hear the rub into the plastic like that. It's like on both sides, so a little tight there, but nothing too crazy. I actually prefer that. We do get a ball-like joint at the waist right here. I'm mostly going to get left and right, crunching back and forth a tiny bit, pivot side to side a little bit, but you're mostly going to roll around and do all that kind of stuff, so that could be a little bit better. I do wish there was some type of ad crunch so we could really get him real crunched over in some better poses. But again, that's going to be a little bit of hindrance, and really just depends on what you want to do. The legs are probably the best part of the articulation. You can kick all the way forward that far, back about that much, which isn't a lot, honestly. You do the splits all the way out, which is actually really good. Rotation in the upper thigh, single bend at the knee, but it bends at 90. You can also semi-rotate at the knee. The boots here seem to be on ball pegs, so those roll around, rotate up and down, and a tiny bit of an ankle rocker. So overall, I think this guy's pretty cool. Again, he's a very unique character. I think the biggest issue is going to be the articulation. For some people, they might not like the shorter legs with a big bulkier body. I don't mind it because, again, it's very unique, very different. Gives this guy a whole different vibe, but still, he's so awesome looking, detailed. I love his whole like gearhead like aesthetic. I think it's really cool, and for me, he is definitely a must get. So for a quick size comparison, here he is sitting next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and Mafex Batman figure. Also for comparison, here he is sitting next to a couple other blue-collar fellas, being the Mezco 112 Collective Union Gomez and Hawk P40. And for even more Mezco comparison, here he is standing next to Bluto. And just for fun, here he is with little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of Slugfest. Now overall, I think this is a very cool and very unique character. I absolutely love both head sculpts as they're pretty much just giant lamps. I think it's really cool, and the LED features do work very nicely. The overall blue collar aesthetic really works for me. I love that he's some type of mechanic machinist type thing where he's really greasy and dirty, and you can see that it feels like his arms were put together himself somehow, his weapons were put together somehow, even his pet, he probably made that thing. I don't know, but I love it. I do love the size and the proportions and just the griminess of this figure. I do understand that a lot of people will not like the proportions of it. I totally get that. I also see where a lot of people are not going to like the articulation, where it is very hindered in certain areas. Again, that is definitely going to be an issue, but still, I think he's pretty badass. Again, a very fun, unique action figure, and I think he will look great on your Mezco shelf. So be excellent to each other, and stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.